Welcome to another week here of Huddle Up on Northwest Access Television. I'm your host, Paul, and to my right, our panel back again for a second consecutive week, JT and Dustin. Morning, afternoon, or good night, whenever you're watching us here on Northwest Access Television.
Oh!
Another week of NFL behind us, baseball starting up, hockey also starting up, basketball tipping off, and...
Can we really say baseball's starting up?
Baseball playoffs are starting up.
I mean, people are paying attention to baseball.
Baseball, they're finally paying attention. Oh, it's 162 games are over? Great, now let's watch some baseball. Football last week, bunch of... Again, it's just that year of, you know what, I have no idea. Which is weird because I'm doing... kind of the picks that we do, I'm doing with my family pool, and I'm killing it. I'm getting like 11 or 12 wins every week. I should start taking from my picks for that and bringing them in here because...
How did I do last week, by the way?
Last week you did very well. I think you were 11-5 last week.
Nice.
I don't have it down right now in front of me. You were 11-5. I think, JT, you were 7-9. And then I was 10-6 or something like that.
That's not bad.
The season total so far, because of JT's our handicap from JT, I guess you should call it a handicap. Your punishment.
My punishment.
Your punishment. 37-26 for myself, 36-27 for Dustin, and then 27-36 for JT. So JT, lots of room to make up, lots of ground.
It's a long season, baby.
Throw your Todd Gurley shirt on and get going. If there's someone that's really killing it this year, it's Todd Gurley. If you took a flyer,
I told you
Todd
the Rams
Gurley,
were going to win last
and
week.
maybe kept him or picked him up first, second round, kudos to you, because I didn't have the guts to do that at all.
I was very excited when I saw that the Rams were winning that football game, knowing that I was like, yeah, I think the Rams are going to win. I'm picking the Rams today. I'm like, yes.
I think he was available in our league, right? I don't think anyone kept Todd Gurley.
No one kept Gurley.
Yeah, so I had that chance, and I didn't take it. So that's fine. That's
I didn't
okay.
either.
I don't care. I'm 1-3, right? Makes sense. I'd like to get into football clearly, but there are some basketball news. There's some baseball news. So I really wanted to get into that too, because I'm sure we'll take most of the time here talking about football, as we usually do here on Huddle Up. Baseball starts in my mind tonight. Dustin wanted to kind of talk about the whole wild card thing. He says to me today, I'm kind of coming around on the whole wild card game. I'm not so much sold on it. So Dustin, I'll let you take it away.
I'm coming around on the one-game playoff. But I would like it to be the two worst playoff teams instead of having...
So an interleague playoff game?
No. I mean, in the AL, have the two worst records play against each other in the playoff game. I kind of want to eliminate...
So you want to go back to... You want to take away the whole division winners. You just want to go back to conference play, basically.
I kind of like the idea... I like the idea of the play-in game because it is, it's dramatic and it's a lot of fun.
It's dumb.
But I also think it's kind of a sham that, a team like the Diamondbacks and a team like the Yankees, who have all season had been far and ahead other teams.
Luckily this year, those are the teams that won.
Right.
The teams that won, that had the top wild card spot, are the teams that became victorious. But it didn't come without a little drama in both games. I mean, the Yankees were down 3-0 in the first inning, and everyone's going, what's going on?
What's going on?
And same thing with the Diamondbacks and in Colorado. There's a lot of drama there as well. So, I mean, I think it's really dumb because baseball's based on series. It's always based on the whole year.
One game to count.
And then for
so
one
much.
game to count for so much. Yeah, right. To go to the first round of the playoffs. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's similar to when they said the first four in for the college basketball, they count that as the first round. No, it's not. It's not the first round. That's your playing game. But I want to see...
If it was a best 2 out of 3...
It should be out of 3.
I think it should be best 2 out of 3.
Absolutely out of 3.
And I think you should be able to move the MLB season.
And that's fine. I would be okay with that if they're already moving up the MLB season next year, and they're also giving more players days off, things like that too. And I get it. It's a demanding sport. That's a long season. I'm not going to play 160-something games in a row. Or not in a row, but with limited, it's not like they get weekends off, but, I understand they're also only playing for 4 hours a day.
And also,
the only
baseball.
players that actually get days off are really pitchers.
Pitchers, right. So I think it's I can't stand the whole wild card play each other game and then go on to the first round. I think it should be a series if you're going to do it that way. Otherwise, get rid of that second spot.
I think it really hurts both teams that are in there because
you're throwing all your stuff out there for that one game just to get into the playoffs.
Every starting pitcher, everyone's got to throw.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Yankees come out tonight because the Yankees had to deplete their entire bullpen.
Right.
in that game, and their bullpen comes out
Severino
one
was
day
the
of
starter,
rest.
right?
Yeah, and he got rocked.
Right.
And they're going to have to come out on tonight, actually. They play tonight. They're going to have to come out tonight with a bullpen that doesn't have a lot of rest after, and it's going to be interesting.
The thing is, they don't have a lot of rest, but none of their pitchers went really deep.
And they're playing Cleveland, one of the toughest teams in the league right now, in the MLB right now.
I don't see how the Yankees can come out of the first round. And honestly, I don't see how Boston can come out of the first round.
Either.
Boston is too banged up. And New York, unless they're scoring 10 runs a game, you're not going to beat Cleveland.
Well, they have to. I mean,
you got to get in a home run derby.
This is the opposite. And this is they're opposite teams. The Red Sox right now, they just have to. They're all about run production. They need to get run production because their pitchers, other than someone like Sale most of the season, and for some reason Pomeranz, they're keeping the runs down on the defensive side. On the defensive side for the Red Sox, I have no problems, no qualms. That team is a really solid. I think they're a lot healthier than you're giving them credit for, especially with how many players that they have at their disposal for the playoffs. They can kind of switch everyone in and out.
They do, but I mean, you lose one of your top producers in Nunez.
Who's back for the playoffs?
Is he?
Yes.
Is he healthy?
They say he is.
They said he was last time we watched his leg buckle out from underneath him.
Right, but they say he is.
You have Pedroia, who's batting
2 weeks.
1-something since he came back from injury.
Still back. Yeah, but on the defensive side, I don't want anyone else at second base.
No, I won't argue that. But
busted knee or not, I don't want anyone else there.
You need run support, and your players that give you run support over history. Are not healthy. And you've got Betts, who's counting on an injection to help his wrist, who's been battling that for months.
Right, and same thing with Bogarts.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing the fact that they need help with run protection. I'm saying, but that's the only thing I'm really worried about. I'm not really worried about the Red Sox pitching right now. I'm more worried about the run production, which has been a problem for them all year, except when, for some reason, Pomeranz is pitching. I think he has the highest run support this year so far, over 6 runs per start, something like that.
For a guy we didn't expect to be any good.
For a guy we expected to be the 5th starter.
Yeah.
So, and you have Sale going tonight. Sale was talking about, I'm going to pitch to my arm falls off, which is really funny because he's basically saying, I'm going to pitch my heart out. Chris Sale, I'm not worried about you. I get that the last few weeks have been, or the last month or so have been kind of rocky, and he's shown great signs of life and then the worst of the worst. But he's the one person I'm not worried about.
You can tell with Chris Sale in the first batter where he's going to be because the games that he's been bad and he's given up all the runs, his slider's the key to all of that. His slider's been completely flat. There's been no movement.
If anything, it's been up.
Are they sending Verlander tonight?
Yes, it's Verlander or Sale. This is going to be this is a pitcher's duel that you've wanted to see probably for this should probably happen a couple of years ago that you would want to see.
It's going to be a pitcher's duel that is going to turn into like an 8-6 game because
very well could be because you're expecting some pitching dominance, but that's not the way that the MLB has been this year. The MLB it's been the most home runs. I mean, every year the record gets broken by most home runs, but you've had more home runs from younger players, the veteran players as well. So I mean, it's if you're looking for a pitching duel tonight, you might want to turn to a different game.
I just don't know how the Red Sox can stop the Astros because now that they've gotten Corella, I can't pronounce his last name, but now that they've gotten him back, their offense is back to what it was when they were just steamrolling the entire AL. And if Chris Sale could pitch 3 nights in a row, the Red Sox have a chance. But after Sale, the Red Sox have nothing.
I think the Red Sox also they've bulked up their bullpen a little bit. They got Carson Smith back as well, which I think is great. I thought that.
How has David Price been out of the bullpen the last few weeks?
Fantastic.
Because I thought
Did you like that stereo?
I thought I saw him in the bullpen and I saw that he had been doing okay, but I didn't know if that.
No, not okay. Fantastic. It's been that's they call him the secret weapon, the not so secret weapon, because
you know he's coming out of the pen. The minute you
but he can go 2 or 3 innings.
Any of these guys,
right.
You're going to see David Price come in, pitch, save it until you can get your setup guy and your closer in.
Sale's got to pitch 7 tonight, and then Price has to be ready to go tomorrow.
I don't even think you need that. I think you need 6 out of Sale, maybe an inning out of Addison Reed. You could throw Carson Smith in that mix. You have Kimbrel as well. You have David. I would save David Price for another day, honestly, if you can.
That's what I mean. I think if.
But actually, now that I'm thinking about that, I would almost say no. I say you get the win tonight. If you have to throw, the entire lot at the Astros to get the win tonight, you do that.
I would be shocked to see anyone come off that bullpen first other than Price.
Don't be surprised if Sale hits 120 pitches tonight.
I'd say the opposite.
That wouldn't shock me either.
If you win game 2, you bring it back.
I would almost take an over-under on Sale. 110 pitches, over-under.
But I say you ride Sale as long as you can. And if you lose a 3-2 game tonight,
this might be his only playoff game. He's never pitched in the playoffs. So this might be the only one he ever gets to pitch in for at least for this season.
And this is why I say, if you're in a close game tonight and it looks like you're going to take the loss, don't burn your bullpen, because game 3 would be at Fenway. Win game 2, have the momentum going back in the Fenway for games 3 and 4.
You can't.
But you can't do that with the Red Sox, because they've proven time and time again, more times than any team has this year, that they can come back and score runs.
I know they can come back
late in the game. So you can't really say, all right, 6th inning, 7th inning, we're down by 3, let's give it up and forget about it, because this team, again, it seems like every single game, I've been recording every game this year and watching it late at night, and it's amazing how quickly they're able to come back in those late innings.
And you can't risk losing game 1. Game 1,
not against Houston.
You can't give them momentum. You can't give that kind of a game away. And not to mention, you can't look at your number 1 guy and say, you pitched a good game, we didn't give you enough, but we're going to give it up at this point.
And you can't do that. The best part that the Red Sox have going into this game is they're the complete underdog. No one expects them to win this game.
No.
So they have, in a way, nothing to lose in this game. Houston has everything to lose in this game, because this is a team that has dominated all season long. Mm-hmm. And now they're going up against the beaten Red Sox, the team that no one expects them, the team that can't hit home runs and apparently has pitching problems. And if they lose to the Red Sox in game 1, I'd be interested to see what happens in game 2, because at least for Houston, you have the pitching to go out there and throw after Verlander. With Pomerantz, I get that he's been doing well this year, but that's a heck of a question mark in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. But you got to win game 1.
Yeah, I think the Astros will take the series in 4 games. I think they go 3-1.
Is this a 5-game series?
Best of 5 for the first round. I think we'll have an Astros-Indians ALCS. And I want to see the Astros.
It's not a big take there, but
it's not. It's not. I'm not coming in with the hot take on baseball this morning.
Question for you: if the Yankees beat the Indians, I should ask, which team are you hoping wins? Because I'm on that fence when it comes to the Yankees, where I kind of like a lot of their players. Does that make any sense? Like they're a likable team. I actually really do like Aaron Judge.
For the first time in what, 2 decades?
I really like Aaron Judge. I like how humanized CC Sabathia has been lately as well. Let's
talk about a recovery story for a minute. Good for CC Sabathia, admitting that he had a problem and going to get help for it, and still coming back strong and still being a good
We said the same thing about Josh Hamilton, and he's never been the same. So I'm not really about to start throwing out accolades to CC Sabathia.
Sabathia, it's hard to admit that you have a problem and have to go get help for it, especially in the middle of your work season.
But I'm looking at the players. I've always liked Brett Gardner. I don't like him because of how well he plays against them, but I've always liked him. And I love watching Didi play shortstop.
Yeah.
God, that's so much fun to watch. So I mean, these players. It's one of those things where I'm definitely on that side of I feel like the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry is not dead, but there's no animosity there. But for me, it's if they I would rather them beat the Indians, because I don't want to play the Indians.
No.
If I'm the Red Sox, I'd rather play the Yankees and have a good old-fashioned, way back rivalry game than to play the Indians. And for what I would believe would happen, we'd get smoked. The Sox would get smoked from that.
I mean, you look at the Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's almost more of a rivalry to us than New York is. And that's the thing is, I don't like the Yankees, but you can't not like that team.
I don't like the Yankees. The Yankees are not this dominant powerhouse that we all grew up watching. They haven't, one World Series in the last 10 years.
They're finally a new team, Dustin. That's what we're talking about.
And I'm okay. Look, if it's the Yankees and Astros, I'm going to root for the Astros. If it's Yankees Red Sox, I'm going to root for the Red Sox. But if the Yankees get to the World Series and they win, I'm not going to be bummed. They've been a fun team to watch. They're a young, fun team, and they're embracing it, too.
I think I've said a million times this year, watching Aaron Judge hit home runs and play, I pray this guy's not on something because I really want this to be genuine.
The thing for me, though, is like I can't look at him and imagine him taking anything solely because of his stature is huge.
He's just already a big guy.
That's the thing you look at Stanton in the sense that they're just big guys.
He's a tight end.
Power.
He's not a Barry Bonds who came into the league my size and then turned out to be this powerhouse. He is just
came in
big.
a powerhouse.
And it's not just like muscle mass because he's not the biggest, bulkiest dude. He's just huge.
I think it would be a fun matchup to see Red Sox Yankees in the ALCS because I think it's like a battle of the beatens, if you will, like the two teams that have struggled to get where they are. Even though the Red Sox did win the AL East, that was a battle. That was hard for them to do over the last month. That was a strong battle. Especially with the Yankees climbing out of where they were to be able to get back into that mix too. And I mean, they were only a few games separated towards the end of the season. So I think it's great for baseball if that's the case. But at the same time, the players that you have for Houston or the players you have in Cleveland and how good those teams are, I think either way it's going to be good for baseball, whichever teams are facing each other.
Yeah, I mean, the ALCS. The AL.
I think the only one you probably don't want is Red Sox Indians because I really think that's one-sided. I give the Indians more credit than they probably need, but I think that they have.
I think Astros Yankees would probably be the best for baseball actually at this point because the Astros and Yankees are two really fun teams that have rebuilt and have done the rebuild the right way. You know, not going against the Indians. The Indians went to the World Series last year, but two franchises that haven't been to the World Series in a couple of years. Astros have yet to win a World Series in franchise history, I don't think. But I think that'd be a fun little matchup. I'd love to see the Astros win it all, just because.
I think they went to the NLCS back in like the early 2000s
2005
with the Killer Bees, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to see the Dodgers come back from their epic downfall?
No,
I hate the Dodgers
at all.
so much.
Like at all. There's one team that I know has been winning, but I could care less of. I've done no research or any bit of a look at the Dodgers this year. So no.
I just have a hate for LA in general, and I just don't want LA. I don't want.
You ever been to LA?
No, but with the exception of the Rams, I don't want.
I've never been either, but I'm at least I'm giving them. At least I'm giving them credit.
LA's a fun city.
I mean, I'm sure it is.
I've flown near it.
I've flown.
But like, I would love to see like the Astros win one, the Nationals win one, the Diamondbacks.
I would like to see the Nationals do something. I'd like to see Bryce Harper accomplish something in his prime.
He will when he gets paid by the Yankees in 2 years. Don't worry.
Kill me.
I know.
That $400 million. The half $500 million contract is coming. If anyone's going to get it, it's probably going to be Bryce Harper.
Or Mike Trout.
It's more likely to be Bryce Harper than it is Mike Trout.
Yeah.
You got to remember, Mike Trout's been in this league a little while than what you're thinking.
Like one more year than Bryce Harper.
Has he?
Yeah, they're the same age.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Whoa. They're the same age. Then Mike Trout has been in the league at least 2 or 3 years longer than Bryce Harper, because Bryce Harper started when he was 18. Mike Trout didn't start when he was 18.
Mike Trout is here. Let me look that up.
That's fine.
Anyway.
So we talked about the format. I would like to see at least a series or blow it up completely. One wildcard team plays your best division leader. Simple as that. Dustin talked about maybe going back to the whole conference thing where you win the pennant and the first, the top whatever teams go on. Similar to what they have in basketball and hockey, things like that.
So Mike Trout was 1991. Bryce Harper was 1992.
Right, but
Trout is 26 right now. Harper is 24. So
I understand the difference in age, but you got to remember that Bryce Harper started when he was 18. Mike Trout did not start when he was 18. Bryce Harper was he went right through the minor league system.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about look up years of experience. I thought it was a few years difference. One thing I thought was really funny. I saw an article. I don't remember what website it was. Maybe it was Deadspin or something like that. There was a train in Cleveland. I don't know if you saw this or not.
No.
They put like wrapping on the seats to amp up people for whatever it was, the basketball season or baseball season, and instead of the Indians and the Cavs, it was the Yankees and the Cavs. So on the Yankees side, it's all talking about rise up and 99, he's the man type of thing. And then on the Cavs side, it's making fun of Boston and Kyrie Irving, which I thought was kind of funny. And I went, wait a minute. The real story isn't the fact that a subway bus did this or a subway train did this. The real question is, why is it Yankees and Cavs? The Indians are in a pennant race. Like, they're trying to win the playoffs here. And we're talking a Cleveland-based subway train has something about the Yankees and Cleveland, and the the Cavaliers.
It's an interesting dynamic.
It's an interesting combination, and I try to think of like what I mean. That's like going in Boston, and it's like you see all these like Boston Celtics things, and then you see like I wouldn't even know like what to compare it to, like Steelers football. I don't know how it doesn't make any sense to me.
The only thing for me would be like looking at it in a standpoint of like you're just trying to hate on Boston,
right?
So you're picking the two teams that.
But like I said, I really don't think that rivalry is there. I get that there was like a little bit of like controversy with an Apple Watch and stealing of signs and things like that, but I feel like in not Adam Silver, that's NBA. The commissioner for MLB kind of was like, I hope the teams work it out themselves. Basically, they're not concerned about it. So, do you really want to call that the start of the rivalry again? I'm not really going to call it.
No.
That,
So go back on your Mike Trout. Mike Trout, July 8th, 2011. Bryce Harper, April 28th, 2012. So they're really close.
What was the times again? Sorry. What were the days?
July 8th, 2011 for Mike Trout.
Okay, so July. Yeah.
And then April 28th, 2012
so the year's
for Bryce
difference.
Harper. 6 months, really.
No, a year.
I mean,
Yeah, but you got 2 years younger on Bryce Harper. I mean, that makes a difference.
I mean, when Bryce Harper has his birthday, he'll be 25. Like,
right.
Which is, it's like the year and a half. Not 2 years fully, but
I'd still be more likely to pay Bryce.
I would too. I feel like Trout's got his money so far. And
Trout's been locked up by the Angels. They gave him the big contract.
Didn't they give him a what?
I thought it was the biggest contract in baseball
Was
history.
it a 10-year contract?
I'll look that up too.
Yeah. Sorry to make you keep looking up stuff, but I know that. But what I'm trying to get is Bryce hasn't had that payday yet.
Bryce has not had the payday yet.
So, and he's going to. He's
yes.
very, very much so.
6 year, $144 million.
From Trout,
Wow.
he got underpaid.
Yeah, he got paid. He's a free
He
agent.
got
again in
underpaid. Is what I'm
2021.
trying to say. I saw a quick sneak peek. I shouldn't say sneak peek, but like a preview of the new plane that the Patriots now run. Do you know what it's called? It's called Aircraft One. Get it, Robert Kraft. I was disappointed. I saw the inside. The outside looks slick. I mean, it's got all the Patriots colors and the symbols and everything like that. But the inside of it, it just looks like a first class, like maybe a cheap first class plane. Nice seats and everything, big seats, but like nothing really to it. It looked like a JetBlue flight, and I was kind of bummed. I thought there'd be a lot more going on there. Like, I'm not saying I'd find like a pool table and jacuzzi in there or anything like that, but I thought that there would be like there'd be tables and things like that set up and everything as well. But it was just looked like a regular plane. I expected more out of Robert Kraft. And I know that I think they're the first NFL team to have their own plane, or maybe the first major league.
It'll cost how many billions of dollars to do it? So,
if there's someone that can do it, he's
How
the
put
one
some
that
of
can
those
do it.
billions of dollars towards fixing your secondary before you worry about.
They did spend some of their billions of dollars to fix the secondary. Didn't work out so well.
No, they need to spend a little more, Paul.
We wanted to talk a little controversy. I know this is the big thing everyone's talking about this morning. Cam Newton with some very sexist comments yesterday. For those that don't know and are finding out for the first time on here, we'll tell you about it. Cam Newton was asked a question from a reporter for the Panthers, or for not the Panthers, but a reporter for a newspaper.
The beat reporter for the Panthers for the newspaper.
For the newspaper down in Carolina. And he kind of hesitated and says, wow, I don't really... It's funny. The word was funny is what he used. It's funny hearing a girl talk about routes, basically. She was asking about different routes between Funches and Kelvin Benjamin, how the chemistry is going. And that was his comment was, oh, wow, it's funny hearing that from a woman or something like that. Actually, I don't even think it's a woman. I think it's a girl. And that's what everyone's talking about today, as well they should be, because it just continues to add to the hypocrisy that is Cam Newton and how we've never really been a fan of him for the most part. Dustin, I know that you
have defended him
for a while.
I want to believe in Cam Newton. I really do, but after these recent comments,
this is a guy that on Sunday. This is a guy on Sunday that, after scoring a touchdown against the Patriots, threw his fist up in the air to emulate a Tommy. I'm going to forget his last. I already down. Tommy Smith from the 1968 Olympics, where it was about human rights. He threw his fist up after winning the 200 meter. He emulates someone like that to show human rights and we're all equal, and then makes a sexist comment like that.
And that's the
3
thing.
days
Like,
later. Come on, guy, grow up and be a role model for once.
But think of it in this aspect. I want to talk about the biggest children in the NFL right now.
I'd love to.
It's fantastic.
You know who they are.
You've got Odell. You've got Josh Norman. You've got Cam Newton.
Whoa, Josh Norman, back up.
Oh yeah.
At least he's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's actually shutting down people. They don't even throw to him anymore. He is the Revis of 3 years ago. You understand that
all
right
right,
now,
if you're going to use that point, Cam Newton did just go into Foxborough and beat the Patriots.
No, the Patriots beat the Patriots.
But still,
don't even start.
Still,
don't even start. You can watch every single one of those touchdowns. Put your hand down. You can watch every single one of those touchdowns that they threw against the Patriots. Every time the cornerbacks are going, you.
And a win is a win.
I want to talk about this because he's the one who brought it up. The Panthers are not a good team in any way, shape, or form. No. The Pats lost that game, Dustin. And if you think otherwise, you're crazy.
No, I don't think the Panthers are a good team.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, if you're going to say Josh Norman
is not a child.
Cam Newton did throw touchdowns, so.
He is putting his money where his mouth. He is actually showing.
Listen to his comments off the field, because that's what we're talking about.
Do it on the field, too.
Going off the field. Cam Newton is a child in every aspect. Odell Beckham is a child in every aspect. Antonio Brown is a child in every aspect.
Well, Antonio Brown
Josh Norman
Antonio Brown
does what he does on the field very well, but he comes off the field and he's a loudmouth and a child.
But we've had this argument before where I'm okay with some of the antics off the field as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing on the field. This is not an antic. This is just plain sexism. Like this is just should not happen.
No,
Norman isn't going out in an interview and saying that he hates, pick a race, pick anything, type of thing. I'm not saying that, but like Cam Newton is literally calling out women in sports media.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like I will not put Josh Norman, Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown in that mix right now because
why?
Because Cam Newton should have just shut his mouth there. He should have just answered the question.
Should have said anything. Just answer the question.
Should have answered the question. You know, what Josh Norman and Odell are doing are on-field antics, but they're not going to it's really hard to be a woman in sports. It's really hard to be a woman reporting in football and one of the most manly, history of sexism sports ever.
It's going to change when that female kicker comes through. She's a beast.
It might. And it's just...
I want to say in the Midwest.
And a lot of... But a lot of these women, you look at the NBA, you look at Doris Burke and how hard she's had to work to get where she is and be a, trailblazer. It's really hard to get an NFL job as a woman reporting on sports. And you have to work harder than the guys are working to get to that point. And for Cam to just give this stupid, unthought-out, sexist response is a whole different level of stupid, especially after he, last week
I wouldn't
talked
say
about...
a whole new level. I would just think it's a different level.
And it's just like, especially after he talked about
Odell
the protesting.
does outside of off the field, yes, it's very childish. But Cam, this isn't childish.
There's being childish and there's being damagingly sexist or damagingly racist or this is where it crosses the line. As somebody who has defended Cam Newton and said, I like some of I like the fun. I want fun NFL players. Like, this is stupid, all right? She's worked her backside off to get to where she is to be a reporter, a beat reporter for one of the 32 NFL teams. You have to put in countless hours. She knows what a route is. Like, she wasn't asking, she was asking, now that they're running their routes better or something, it's just the fundamental. You answer the question.
We're the first ones to admit she knows well more about football than we'll probably ever know.
And it's just like,
that's a lot of people in the sports media in general. I think the best thing I heard from Mike and Mike this morning while driving in was, if you think you know more than someone like Jordan Rodriguez, I think is what her name is, in football, let's talk X's and O's and go one-on-one because I'll tell you, she'll probably bury you in less than a minute. So, and I completely agree with that.
Her job is to do nothing but
That's
study.
why our job is not that, because we are not smart enough to be.
We're not beat reporters for one of the NFL teams.
Football reporter in general. I'm not even trying to get male or female. I'm not that smart. That's why I don't pursue a career in that stuff.
And it was a really good question because the Panthers have actually been doing better with their route running this year. It was one of the best questions you could ask in a press conference. And Cam Newton.
The question I'd ask Cam Newton is, your team finally runs routes. Are you ever going to actually be able to hit them in the route? That's the question I'd ask.
That's a good question.
I almost predicted to the play, and actually I did predict to the play. I almost predicted to the moment that he was going to run in, because you didn't see that last week against the Pats, and then all of a sudden it was like first and goal or something like that, 8 yards out. I'm like, here comes the run play, and when he got back into the run play, that team looked like the Panthers again. But the fact that he's sitting back in the pocket, he looks just so uncomfortable back there. Even with no pressure, he looks uncomfortable back there.
It's not where he wants to be. He's a rollout.
Without the complete blown coverages of the Patriots, that that game wouldn't have even been close because on the other side of that ball is still one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game.
Yeah,
and he proves it every single week in and week out. But you wanted to go back to your original points, is that you wanted to put these other guys in the kind of like that knucklehead type of category.
You have Odell who's out there peeing.
And on the field. That was on the field. On the field.
But that was, according to him, a trash at the president. Mm-hmm. I don't find that any...
Really? It felt like trash at Eagles fans.
No, I don't
that's what I think that's what everyone took it as originally.
Which I was perfectly okay with.
You have Antonio Brown.
He doesn't want to see that. No, Antonio Brown.
Eagles and Giants hate each other. That is what it is. Antonio Brown kicking the water bucket.
How's that any different than a pitcher or a batter striking out and then smashing a water cooler in the dugout?
I think the difference is you rarely see the pitcher's reaction.
Every now and
then you do.
Anytime it happens, you see it. But because everyone's staring at Odell to watch every move he makes.
Antonio Brown.
Or Antonio Brown, rather.
Every move he makes. How about when he proposes to a field goal net after he beat the crap out of it?
That's funny.
I thought that closed that whole thing, honestly. And he gave it a hug.
Yeah, he gave it a hug. He apologized. But I also see why you would not think that's funny. Now that I think about it a little more, that's actually kind of... I'm just going to...
Exactly. You beat the crap out of something, then you ask it to marry you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's kind of the NFL in a nutshell there.
Rocky topic going downhill in a hurry.
Here we are.
We're just going to avoid that one, boys.
Anyway, what else we got?
And Josh Norman, what has he done?
Actually, this year I haven't seen much this year.
So we just kind of threw his name out there just because.
Just because JT has a grudge against Josh Norman.
How do I have a grudge against Josh Norman?
He plays for a team that faces your team in the
twice a year.
Twice a year.
And shuts down your wide receivers that suck.
Since
you have wide receivers?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, the Eagles have beat the Skins.
When did they beat them this year?
They haven't played this year.
Oh, okay. So they're 0-0.
Beat them last year.
Yeah. Well, that's a different team.
A worse team.
The Redskins this year?
No.
Oh, the Redskins this year are a lot better this year. And so are the Eagles this year, too.
We're going to get the picks.
What else we got?
We're going to move to pick. It's only 9:30. We have NBA talk to talk about.
Woohoo! I like it. My favorite topic. Where's Bryce?
Next week. He's
Bryce is coming back next week?
Next week to talk NBA previews. So maybe I'll take the week off because I don't really need to be here for that. Although I really am excited to watch the Celtics this year, clearly, because, you go out and you spend money and get superstars. Yeah, the team's fun to watch again. But I watched them all last year, too, so I don't really want to hear they're like, oh, you're just jumping on now. No. I was on the Isaiah Thomas bandwagon with that team. He's off. I'm still watching, so give me some credit.
Flat Earth Kyrie.
New All-Star rules for the NBA All-Star game. I guess new rules for the NBA All-Star game. It's going to be kind of like a schoolyard pick, but there are rules within these rules. So no longer do you have the only East-West you have is the top two picks.
Correct.
So actually, I don't even know if it's that. It might even be just the top two. No, it's the top go-getter in each in the East and the West. So likely, right now you're looking at, and again they're already predictions. You're looking at LeBron versus Steph. So then they take the other 8 starters that were voted in by the fans. So 4. In the West and the East, they're going to combine them into a pool of 8, and then Steph and LeBron, one by one, will pick and form their team. Then it goes to the reserve players, and same thing, pick and go from there. Here's the one thing and actually I'm okay with this. I think it's a little different. I never really liked the NBA All-Star game anyway because I think it's a joke of East versus West and it's almost 200 and 200 every single year, or it's getting close to that every single year. The problem with it is they've changed it up a little bit. They made it a little more interesting as kind of like, buddies in your backyard, like pick up basketball.
And playing for
But
charity,
the one thing they didn't do is they didn't really fix the NBA All-Star game because it's still going to be boring. It's still going to be dunks and threes, and that's all. To me, that's boring because I don't want to see a 200 to 200 game.
But you're also not a basketball fan in that sense.
I love the All-Star game, and I love that aspect of it.
I don't like that kind of basketball. I don't like lazy basketball. Sorry.
The issue I have with the All-Star game or with what they changed is they came out and they said the West has gotten so dominant and they have so many better players in the West. Your true superstars are in the West, and there's only a couple of them left in the East. Well, this doesn't fix that because you're still drafting. You still have to pick so many people from the East. Stop that. Just vote for the top 16, whatever, true all-stars. Yeah, there's going to be a couple from the East. Most of them are going to be from the West. So many people you have to leave out solely because there's just not enough room on that roster.
Every team has to be represented. And that's the point of the All-Star game, too.
Every team doesn't have to be
I think within the All-Star weekend, every team has to be represented.
All-Star
so that
weekend
means, like, you know, the three-point contest or the pass skills, whatever it is.
I find this entertaining. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think it'll be neat because you're really going to see.
I think it's such a small
it's the players
aspect.
you like.
I think it's such a small aspect and a small change to the All-Star game. It's not going to make any difference.
Honestly,
it's not. You're still going to have the same All-Star game we've always had, but it's going to change the dynamic a little bit. And
how do you decide who gets first pick?
would it be highest votes?
No, I think a game of horse. I think you
fun.
want to put on a spectacle, LeBron versus Steph Curry in a game of horse.
for first pick,
That
would be fantastic.
You know what's going to be really fun to watch?
Throwing it out there, catch it if you want.
Curry would own it, though.
It's going to be when LeBron is down to
It will never happen.
Klay Thompson or Kyrie Irving, and he intentionally takes Klay Thompson just to not.
He
play
will
with
clearly
Kyrie.
take Klay
He will
Thompson.
I just love seeing Le Petty LeBron. I love it, and I just that alone will be worth it for me for this change. Just to see LeBron say, "No, I don't want to play with Kyrie." On a national stage like that, that'd be a lot of fun.
Honestly,
to see.
they're going to face each other well before the All-Star game.
I'm looking forward for the Celtics-Cavs game.
All
That's
that
the
stuff's
first-
going to be put behind
first game.
well before the All-Star game.
I also look forward.
Kyrie's going to be on the All-Star. I mean,
Yeah, true.
You don't know. Everyone kind of speculates. We know LeBron James is going to be on the All-Star game.
Well, this is the difference. When you look at a player like Kyrie Irving, if he's in the West,
Gordon Hayward,
he doesn't make the All-Star game.
No.
That's the point.
That's a good point where there's not much talent. When you're talking about a pool of talent in the East, Kyrie probably will be an All-Star because who else are you going to take from the Celtics other than a Gordon Hayward type of player?
You'll have Kyle Lowry,
Kemba Walker,
Kyrie Irving. What's his face from the Suns?
That's the East. Suns are in the East.
Oh no, Suns are West.
Anytime. Phoenix. The eastern side of Phoenix.
What other teams are in the East? Well, you won't have
What
anybody.
other teams are in the East?
We'll find out next week
others.
when Bryce makes an appearance on Huddle Up.
You'll see Porzingis.
Yes, you will see Porzingis.
The linky guy.
Yeah, Malinky guy. Porzingis.
I'm curious to see how long his career really is because he reminds me kind of like a Yao Ming, that freak of nature, tall.
Yao Ming was a science experiment gone right.
How do you look at Porzingis and not think the same thing?
I don't think because
his arms are
Where's he
like
from?
huge. I have no idea.
They don't have the technology. I know that much to be able to.
It doesn't matter.
Form of being like that.
The guy is like skin and bones, but his legs are huge. His arms are huge.
So young. I really love Porzingis. I think
I do too.
He's a lot of
the
fun
most
to watch.
awkward-looking dude in the world, though.
Oh yeah, no, he is.
Villanueva. Remember him? That was an awkward-looking dude. Villanueva. Remember him? No offense. I mean, I don't mean anything. He did have a disease. I mean, he didn't have any hair, but I mean, that kind of like added to it. So happy about the change, not about change. What else can the NBA do to like amp? Because I mean, the season hasn't even started yet, and we're talking about the All-Star game, which is even funnier.
which
but
is
like,
great.
What else can they do to amp up that weekend?
NBA also changed the rules
Dustin, can you see where
for
it is this
the
year?
draft. Did you see that?
No.
So no longer does the team that has the most losses have the highest chance of getting the number one pick.
Okay.
So they wanted to get rid of the tank your season for the number one pick.
Right.
Staples Center.
So
Out in LA. Nice.
now it's the worst three teams have equal chance of the top three pick, and they changed like how far they could drop to really change the tanking of the season, which I like. Finally, that can change and kind of level the playing field a little bit, because it's sad when you get down to the end of the season and it's literally just play your bench, because at this point we want to lose. So I like that atmosphere. The All-Star game, the only thing I think they could honestly change for that is to truly let the fans pick the top 16 players.
I think it's the worst decision in the world. I don't think the fans should. I mean, I get it's supposed to be for the fans, but fans can be dumb. things can happen.
Oh, without a doubt.
And you could have players that just don't belong in an All-Star game.
You always do. I mean, you have players that make the All-Star game because of a legacy and not because of their that year talent. I mean, that's never going to change, nor really should it. I think when you get to a certain stature, your Kobe Bryant, your Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, when he gets to that point, you've earned a point of you're going to that solely because you are a legacy superstar, and you've earned that right. But
now they have like futures games. Why not have veterans games? So it's like, why not have players that are past a certain age play in like a fun pickup game like they do for like the futures, they have freshmen and sophomores. That's what they have. So why not have like a veterans? Yeah, I know not players that are rumored to be retired or rumored to be are leaving in a year or two, but maybe once you get past a certain age, now you're in a different game.
I want to see the retired game.
I think that'd be great.
I want to see
it.
But I want to see like you're 5 years out. If you're eligible for the Hall of Fame, I think it's 5 years. If you're eligible for the Hall of Fame, I don't think you should be involved. I think it should be before that. So someone who just left can come back. Or maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe it's you're eligible. You're past that 5 years out of the league.
Hall of Fame game.
Now you can play.
You're in the Hall of Fame. Let's go out. Let's have fun.
I mean, everyone still wants to see Jordan on the court.
Yeah.
Anytime even when a reporter speculates that Jordan was on a court somewhere, social media blows up. Like, oh, look, he's back, he's coming back. So
I mean, he plays
he's
against.
Still playing.
I mean, he plays against the players he employs all the time.
I want to see Reggie Miller. I want to see Shaquille O'Neal. I want to see Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen come out. Like, let's have fun. You know, you talk about how much the game has changed and how these young bucks don't do it right, and you're the best. Come out and remind people how you play your game.
I think that was the point of the whole Big Three tournament or league. That
was just an epic fail.
It's coming back again.
I know it's coming back, but it was not because the games weren't live. That played a big role into it. You have to find some type of whether it's TBS or TNT or Spike TV, something. You have to get somebody on board to show these games live.
I don't know why Fox won't show the games live.
Because it's not a moneymaker right now.
Yeah,
I mean, and it proved it. The first couple weeks proved it. No one was watching. Nobody was paying attention.
Nothing on that network.
I don't want to watch it recorded.
Right now.
I don't want to watch it recorded. What I just found out the night before on social media, who won and who's hurt and who scored the game-winning basket. Like, it wasn't exciting. It was supposed to be a lot. The hype for it was definitely better than the actual.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
That's something we had talked about in length about how excited we were.
Want to start doing picks here.
We could start talking about picks. I think that's everything I wanted to chat about.
Yeah, I'm watching woodworking gifts, guys. You've lost me.
You're watching woodworking gifts. You don't have to show up for the show, Dustin, if you don't want to.
Yeah, I just don't want to talk about the NBA.
Going on to the NFL. Thursday night game, or last night's game if you're watching us tomorrow, or Saturday night's game a couple games ago. Pats, Bucks. I don't want to just get into we have almost 20 minutes. I don't want to get into just who you got. Give me a reason. Let's not just jump around. Because honestly, we're now 5 weeks into, or 4 weeks into the season. We've seen these teams. I know that there's still a lot of question marks, but we know these teams a lot better than the first week where
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
No. The only reason why I'm taking Tampa Bay is to kind of see if I can jumpstart myself here a little bit. That's the only reason why I'm taking Tampa Bay. They have enough offensive weapons to put up points against the bad defense of Patriots. But at the same token, I don't honestly think they can outscore the Patriots.
I don't think so at all.
I think solely because of the simple fact that I need to try to make a jump here. I'm going with.
I honestly, go ahead, Dustin.
I'm taking the Buccaneers because the Patriots secondary has been god awful this year, like you've mentioned, like we've seen.
And the Buccaneers secondary, they're out without their two best cornerbacks right now.
And it's a Thursday night game. It's a Thursday night game where everybody feels like they're going to be picking the Patriots. I could see Jameis Winston going for 300 yards tonight and winning in a shootout. This game is also.
If he doesn't throw for 300 yards, he's not winning the game. I can tell you that much.
I think the Patriots will win, but I want to take the Buccaneers.
What did I say
I've taken the Patriots for 4 straight weeks too, and I'm getting sick of it.
What did I say last week about Cam Newton? I said if you have him in fantasy,
you
might want to play him. I wasn't wrong. He threw for over 300 yards, a couple touchdowns, and ran for one. I've seen the Patriots. I'm not just your casual fan. I'm actually watching these games, sometimes a second time, to watch to see what's going on. I'm an in-the-trenches kind of viewer when I'm watching these games, and it's terrible. The mistake, I'm watching it with my father last week, and I'm going, Gilmore's pointing at McCourty right now. He has no idea what he has. Watch this left. Benjamin's going to be wide open. And sure enough, they get their cross paths, and there goes Benjamin. It's like they have no communication whatsoever on that team.
Yeah,
I was saying that as a Pats fan, I have all the confidence in the world they're going to figure this out. They're 2-2. That's not the biggest deal in the world. They've also
AFC is wide open this year.
Completely wide open. The Bills are, I think, 3-1 or something like that. But the Pats have scored 75 more. I wrote it down somewhere. The Pats have scored 50 more points than the Bills and the Jets, and 100 more points than Miami. Now, granted, Miami has played one less game, but that's kind of ridiculous that you scored 100 more points than a team you're tied with right now.
Miami hasn't scored.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm not worried about this Patriots team. I know that they have the second most, or they've let up the second most?
Second most points.
They've let up the most points, on defense.
Are they up to the most?
But they've scored the second most points. They have a net point of 1, which
Woohoo!
is crazy. Yeah, they're in the positive, but I just see it, the offense, there's nothing to really fix there. Everything's kind of clicking very well, except for the running backs. You don't have a run game going, but the offense is going well in that sense. It's the defense that once that starts clicking, this team's going to start winning again. I'm not too worried about them. I'm taking the Patriots, clearly. So Buffalo versus Cincinnati.
Buffalo. There's just, you have no hope in Cincy right now. I mean, they are ugly in every category.
I mean, they're able to beat up on teams like Cleveland, which they did. Andy Dalton, I think, was the AFC. Was he the AFC offensive? Oh no, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Thank you very much.
But you can say thank you very much all you want. Andy Dalton still threw 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So,
yeah,
just throwing it out there.
It's the Browns.
Yeah, it's the Jaguars. What's your point?
What?
Isn't that who Houston beat?
Titans.
The Titans, who were predicted to win the division. But anyway,
who?
By everybody. Everybody's been on the Titans side. We'll get to that. But I don't know if I believe in the Bills, but I think the Bills going to win this year and go to not this year, but this week and go to 4-1. It's weird seeing a Bills team that's 3-1 because I don't know if they're good.
I don't think they are.
I think
it's a mirage. I think it's a complete.
I think they're going to go 7-9.
I don't have faith in Cincinnati, but I think that they've jump-started something at least. I think everyone needs that one game to kind of get things going again, so I'm taking Cincinnati in that game.
I'm taking the Bills.
I also like the run game of Cincinnati.
Stop taking my picks.
No.
Jets at Cleveland.
Man, this game's going to be a dumpster fire.
Did you actually see there was a real dumpster fire at Cleveland Stadium?
Did you see the end of the Jets-Jaguars
No, there
game?
actually was. There's a report. They talked to us on ESPN that there was an actual dumpster on fire next to Cleveland Stadium.
But did you see the end of the Jets-Jaguars game?
No.
The Jaguars
because
choked.
That's the last game I was watching on Sunday.
So the Jaguars choked in the most Jaguars way possible, in the sense of
Jaguars.
Like they punted and they got they punted from their own 5-yard line because Blake Bortles was playing to tie. They were playing to tie in those last 3 minutes, and then they get a 38-yard punt on top of a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for a taunt, and just handed the Jets this game. I was like, wow, this is the most Jets-Jags game I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Who cares?
I just was.
I'm going Cleveland.
You're going to Cleveland?
Now he wants to take Cleveland because you went with Cleveland.
I take the Jets.
I'm also going with Cleveland. I really want to think that team can do something. And against the Jets, that's again, every team needs that one opponent. I think the Jets are that for Cleveland. Carolina versus
Detroit. There's no conversation.
We're all picking that, huh?
Detroit should be 4-0. They got screwed by the refs and a rule that
they didn't get screwed by the refs. The guy, he never reached the end. He never reached the end zone. Now, granted, they weren't able. I don't think they had any timeouts anyway.
They didn't.
But they should have been able to run another play. What did
they have when he was down? When the knee was down before when he scored? How much was 8 seconds? They're not spiking the ball in 8 seconds, Dustin. Say whatever you want.
No, I'm not saying that they're spiking the ball, but the refs stopped the play to review.
Because it was a touchdown.
Right. So when they realized they had a touchdown, they should have given it a chance to wind the clock and have that one play. But that's an NFL rule that should be changed.
No, I don't believe so at all. Not in that instance, anyway. You're not going to convince me on that. The team, if they had not scored or they did score, they didn't call that. If they said that no, it wasn't a touchdown, there's no way they were going to get there and make a play in 8 seconds. No. Not downfield. It wasn't going to happen.
Okay, well.
You've seen that they They talked about this. I think Jay Feely talks about this on Fox Sports. He says you need a minimum of 16 seconds to even kick a field goal in the NFL.
Yeah.
To get players run off the field. You think you're going to get the entire line and everyone to there with the confusion that's going on in less than 8 seconds? No way. That game was going to be over no matter what. San Francisco at Indianapolis. Again, it's like a bad week for some of these games.
There are some really good games and there are some really bad games.
The good games are later.
I like the Colts in this one. Brissett impressed me in that first half. They hung with the Seahawks in Seattle for the first half of that game. I think Jacoby Brissett has played his way into a low-level starter job next year somewhere in the NFL. I'm going to take the Colts. Colts are at home.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Well, I'm doing it too. That's okay.
I mean, who's going to...
I know you want to take a flyer here and there, but 49ers might not be that team.
No, they're not.
Do you have trusted... Which Patriots backup would you like? Would you like Brian Hoyer or would you like Jacoby Brissett? Which one has more upside?
I still like Hoyer.
Tennessee at Miami. And this is a Miami team that they shut out last week?
God, Miami sucks, but I feel like they...
I can't find last week's sheets, but...
Like, Miami sucks, but the Titans just came off a 57-14 loss.
And running a backup quarterback.
Like...
Miami lost to New Orleans. They got shut out in London. Again, it's the craziness of London. We've called it that
I'm taking the Dolphins. Taking the Dolphins.
And it depends. I mean, which Patriots backup quarterback would you like? Brian Hoyer, Jacoby Brissett, or Matt Castle? Which one would you like to see right now? Because Matt Castle is likely going to be your starter right now.
Matt Castle looked like trash in that game, and
he looked like trash, but he was also thrown in the last quarter.
Yes.
Was, but I just
so now you've had a whole week of preparation to go against the team of Miami that you have played before. Just throwing that out there.
I'm taking Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee
Miami.
as well.
They're just the better team.
I think overall they're the better
hasn't
team.
Thrown a darn thing.
Clearly,
very disappointing.
As I said, they've scored 20-something points this year.
I think Tennessee.
They haven't scored that much.
Tennessee secondary.
They've had 3 games. They were shut out once.
They were shut out twice.
They were shut out twice.
Back-to-back weeks. I think they only scored 1 touchdown the first.
I think
week.
back-to-back weeks of shutout. Adam Gase is going to change a few things up. The Titans secondary got exposed.
I have to check that, but I know they scored more than at least 1 touchdown.
I'll take the Dolphins.
I know, I have that down. Los Angeles at the Giants.
Giants, please.
Los Angeles Chargers at the Giants.
Giants.
I'm going to take the Chargers.
You taking the Chargers to go West Coast to East Coast and win when they're 0-4?
With a possible Odell-less Giants?
Look at the Los Angeles Chargers. Every game they've played, they've been within points.
And they are a frustrated team right now. They've said that.
4 straight road games.
You're talking about a Giants team that just sucks. The Chargers have played well. They've had stupid turnovers and some costly penalties, but they've hung in there and they've been so close to winning games. I got to go with them.
I really want to know what the status of Odell is because I know it. Of all things a receiver needs, he needs his hands. And if he's one-handed right now, I know he makes ridiculous catches anyway. But if he's one-handed with this game, I don't have much hope for the Giants. However, at the same time, I also don't see this New York Giants team going 0-5 to start the season. It is kind of crazy that this is the worst team in the NFL.
In the Meadowlands, I don't think
they've gone 0-4.
That's what I mean.
This is a team that everyone predicted to be
the team this year, right?
No,
but like to go 0 to take it a step further, they're going to go 0-5.
Yeah,
and the Chargers are going to be the one to hand it to them. I'm gonna wait on that pick, but I will pick it before the end of the show. I'm gonna wait on that one and just kind of flip a coin. Arizona at Philly.
Philly. I love the Eagles. I believe in this Eagles team. I think they have a chance to win the division. They've been fun to watch.
Win the division's not much of a say right now, though. No one in that division is really playing good football.
The only team that's playing good football is the Eagles, and the Redskins are playing okay football, but I don't think the Redskins can win that division. I think the Eagles are good.
Jacksonville at Steelers.
Steelers.
I already put you down.
Don't.
No? Okay, going to Jacksonville?
Going Jacks.
But the Jaguars. Can you explain to me why the Steelers will win this game, Dustin?
Because the Jaguars had a game against the Houston team where they faced a Tom Savage who couldn't run away from a sack to save his life.
Wait, they won that game.
I know. I'll go there. I'm explaining my point.
Jacksonville won the game that you're talking about.
Okay, then they played the game in London against Joe Flacco, who has
beat them too.
Severely regressed this year, and I think Joe Flacco is out of a quarterback
a non-quarterback, an elite quarterback, and now you think that the Steelers are going to beat them.
Do you think the Steelers, with the weapons they have, are going to lose to the Jaguars in Heinz Field?
Oh, that's right. You're defending the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm
I was
not,
like, I don't understand where you're going with this.
Oh no, I'm not taking the Jaguars. The Jaguars, I think they are who we think they are, and I think they'll go 7-9 this year. But they're not.
But you started off almost defending the Jaguars, saying like, how
I think
well
I think the 2 wins that they have gotten were fluke games at this point. And
John,
I think Jacksonville is a team that can beat anybody and lose to everybody.
yes,
nice.
So I'm taking them as a gamble.
Right.
gotta make up some ground.
You're looking for the
Jacksonville's
reach,
team.
right.
I like Jacksonville's team. They do have a solid defense. They really, really do. Big Ben has had a hard time getting pressure. They are pretty decent at stopping the run. Le'Veon Bell's had a really rough year to start. So the only real person you have to worry about is Antonio Brown, which that's a struggle. But I don't think it's a far stretch to put Jacksonville above Pittsburgh.
I think Jacksonville is where Houston was the last couple of years. They need a quarterback. Jacksonville needs a quarterback now. I don't think Blake Bortles is a good quarterback. I think they need a quarterback.
He's not a good quarterback. Anyway.
Team's winning. Seattle at Los Angeles. Rams.
Rams.
Everyone likes the Rams at home, huh?
Yeah.
Why?
They're fun to watch. They score a lot of
Proven
points.
it this year.
They score the most points?
They're just good.
They're good, and the Seahawks are not.
Leading the entire league in points scored.
Yeah.
Was it you who said this last week that it wasn't the Seahawks teams of old, I think, on the show?
No, clearly it isn't.
And I think the Rams are going to be – I think the Rams win that division. The Rams are fun to watch. I'm on the bandwagon.
Baltimore at Oakland.
I don't know how to pick this game.
Ooh, you almost said it, but we don't have Derek Carr instead.
But the
we
Ravens
put that
have
Carr into
sucked.
Manuel.
Yeah,
Like-
EJ Manuel's awful.
That's what I mean.
I don't know. I
might
take E.J. Manuel with a week of game prep over Joe Flacco this season at this point. That's how bad Joe Flacco has been this year.
I'm going to take Oakland just because they're at home.
I'm going to take Oakland.
And I'm going to take them just so I don't lose a pick to you guys. But I like Baltimore in this game. Green Bay at Dallas. This is where the games actually get fun.
Green Bay. Dallas has regressed to the mean. Dak Prescott is not as good as he was last year. Elliott has been hit or miss. I think they're starting.
Elliott had a great game last week.
He did, but then 2 weeks ago he had the game where he ran for literally 8 yards.
That's 2 weeks ago. We're talking about this week. We've already had our mishap, I think, with Elliott. We're moving on. He proved that this past week. You can't look back on
It's
weeks
a home.
past.
It's a home game.
Home game for Dallas.
But it's
Against
also
the
Green Bay coming in
with 10 days of rest. With
no running back still, right? Is Montgomery still out?
I like Green Bay.
I haven't heard.
I'm not.
But they've been, and the other part too with Green Bay, they've also had 10 or 11 days to prep for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the Packers.
I think that you said Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason I am going to take Green Bay is because I really, when I'm talking about players I don't want to count out, Rodgers is on the top of my list. There's someone I'm not going to.
No, I'm not.
No matter
betting
how
you.
much they're down or up, I trust more Rodgers than I do.
There is a
Dallas
handful
offense.
of quarterbacks that I would take against Aaron Rodgers, but Dak Prescott
Kansas
is
City
not one of
at
them.
Houston.
I'm picking
City.
Houston.
This is I don't know what. There's a star next to the Texans. I don't know what that means though for this.
Kansas City.
I'm picking Houston. Do you want to go and brag on my Texans, or do you want me to give you the points why I think the Texans can win this
No,
game?
Kansas City's going to win this game just because they'll control the ball. Houston, Deshaun will turn that ball over. Alex Smith won't. Key to the game.
I think that Alex Smith's going to have a tough time. Tough time getting away from that pressure. But I think he's a quarterback that can do it. He proved it last week too, running around. He still is a mobile quarterback, even though people don't really want to consider him a mobile quarterback.
I've never said he was not a mobile quarterback.
I wasn't specifically saying Dustin said. I said
Okay.
people in general say that he's not really a mobile quarterback. So I'd be curious to see how well he does against pressure about the team. Because someone watching Tom Brady against them was scary. But
Well,
watching Alex Smith, who actually can run out of the pocket and do something.
Well, not only just run out of the pocket, but you have to remember that 70% of his passes are within 5 yards of
right.
of
And he's got the
scrimmage.
receivers to be able to do that.
So-
similar, yeah.
So he'll be fine.
Okay. And finally, Minnesota at Chicago.
Minnesota.
I'm going to take Trubisky.
Okay, we're going with Trubisky, who is starting this time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at a game. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. What was the game I didn't pick?
Chargers.
Chargers and Giants. Okay, I'm going to go JT on that one. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I don't know why. I think it's because I saw Melvin Gordon was very frustrated. He said that I think he's going to have a breakout game this week against the Giants. That's all the time we have for Huddle Up for this week. Dustin, JT, I'm Paul. Bryce will be here next week for NBA previews. Until then, enjoy football.